Was it wrong of Liverpool fans to boo Trent Alexander-Arnold today? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We've just witnessed Liverpool and Arsenal, the top two in the Premier League, battle it out to a 2-2 draw today. A proper game of two halves. Liverpool raced away into a 2-goal lead with a quick-fire double in the first half. Absolutely dominated the Gunners in the opening 45 minutes. But Arsenal quickly hit back in the second half. Gabriel Martinelli got a goal back for the Gunners, and then Mikel Merino scored an equaliser before getting sent off towards the end of the game. Liverpool finished off strong, had a goal ruled out for a foul in the build-up, but ultimately neither side could be separated come the final whistle. But the big talking point that is somewhat overshadowing this game is that of Trent Alexander-Arnold. We, of course, have been talking about Alexander-Arnold all season, and earlier on this week, he announced himself that he will be leaving Liverpool Football Club at the end of the season when his contract is to expire. And it left a lot of unanswered questions as to how Liverpool fans were going to respond to that, especially in the flesh with seeing him appear at Anfield potentially on Sunday, or whether or not Arne Slot would actually just exile him from the squad entirely, freeze him out, and start planning towards the future. As it turns out, Trent was named on the bench this Sunday. Connor Bradley started at right back. And it's safe to say that when Trent did come onto the pitch, at the nicest point I can say, he got a mixed reaction. We're going to be talking about whether or not it was right for Liverpool fans to boo Trent Alexander-Arnold or not. Did Arne Slot maybe get it wrong in selecting Trent for the bench? But before we go any further and discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on what I'm sure is a very divisive and very intriguing topic of discussion. And without further ado, we're going to get into the conversation ourselves. We're going to be talking Trent, Liverpool, and whether or not the Liverpool fans were right to boo Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, let me just say, in my personal opinion, everybody has the right to voice their own opinion on this, on anything. As long as you're not going overboard with it, as long as you're not being abusive, as long as you're not bringing in family members and friends and obviously very malicious and could be fatal threats to a player, I'm all for freedom of speech. I'm all for voicing your opinion, especially the paying fans on a match day. You paid your money to get in. As long as you're not being abusive, you can chant and boo and cheer and do whatever you like. That is my very first and foremost opinion on this particular topic. Secondly, I'm not massively overboard on the whole Trent hate. Like, I'm disappointed. I was annoyed. I'd sort of come to terms with it as the season progressed. I sort of was under the impression that he would leave, so I guess I kind of came to grips with it more and more as the season wore on, even though it wasn't officially confirmed until, of course, earlier on this week. But I could understand where he was coming from. I could understand why he would want to leave. I wasn't completely overboard on the way that a lot of Liverpool fans didn't like the situation, didn't like the way that he handled it. And I completely agree. I didn't think he handled it the best way either. But I at least could understand where he was coming from in terms of him wanting a new challenge, him wanting to move it away. You know, if that's what he wants, fine, fair enough. The wheel at Liverpool will keep on spinning, as I mentioned in my previous video on this situation. Liverpool Football Club will grow. They'll continue to move on. Trent is just another player. As much as he is the scouser in the team, as much as he is the local boy, Liverpool Football Club would continue. Of course it will. It's not going to die. It's not going to, like, fall away or anything. Liverpool Football Club would just continue. It's just annoying the way that he's handled it. It's the annoyance at the way that he will say a buzzword or a certain phrase that this means more kind of thing, and then Obviously, the kind of mural that I saw, just a local lad that lived out his dream and all of that kind of stuff. And then he's going away to Real Madrid at a point where Liverpool Football Club are in a very promising position to potentially, if they get things right, go on and be even more successful than what they have been in the past several years under both Arne Slot and Jurgen Klopp at the time. So I get the frustration, I get the annoyance, I get the anger. I haven't gone completely overboard on those kinds of emotions myself, but I understand where a lot of people are coming from on this. And that brings us to the game today. Like I say, the game today was a game of two halves. It was the most competitive, least competitive game I think I've ever seen, if that makes sense. Nothing really riding on it for both teams. It wasn't the title-deciding matchup that several months ago it was potentially being built up as. It was just a game in which Arsenal were dealing with a Champions League knockout hangover. Liverpool were just cruising as they were as Premier League champions. And in the end, it was Liverpool just thinking the game was won at 2-0. And then Arsenal, with no pressure on them in the second half, came back into the game, got back into it. And again, it's a draw between two top teams in England that overall, the result no one really cares about. And the proof that no one really cares about it is the fact that we're here and Sky were there and a lot of other pundits and everybody else who's had their thoughts and comments on this situation are there, not talking about the game, not talking about Arsenal's comeback, not really talking about Liverpool and the way that they've reacted since becoming Premier League champions or anything like that. We're here talking about this Trent Alexander-Arnold situation. We're here talking about the reaction to the boos that Liverpool fans were throwing at him. Now, it wasn't everybody in the stadium from obviously where we were sat in front of the TV, from what Sky, the broadcast of Sky was putting out there in terms of audio. It did seem like there was a bit of a mixed reaction, so to speak. There were plenty of boos. There were plenty of chants of "there's only one Conor Bradley" in response to Trent coming on. A lot of other players got their rendition of their songs. The new Federico Chiesa song, I really love. I really love the new Federico Chiesa song. Shame it wasn't there actually today, but I quite like that song, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, like I say, it was kind of like chilled out atmosphere at Anfield. No real pressure, no real intensity. We were just enjoying the moment of being Premier League champions. We were enjoying the ride whilst we were still in a winning position. 2-0, 2-1. And then Trent comes on. And the mood takes a bit of a sour turn. Like I say, not everybody was booing him. There was some support in the crowd. There was some banners up. There was some support for Trent by certain fans in the stadium. But it took a little bit of a sour turn. And then typically, Trent's the last man playing Mikel Merino on the side for their equalising goal. Yeah, I guess that didn't really help things. But it was interesting to gauge the opinions. Obviously, Gary Neville was on commentary. I hate when Gary Neville's on commentary for Liverpool games. But he was on commentary for Liverpool games. He was making plenty of comments about it. Everybody online was as well. The likes of Rio Ferdinand was vocal on this. Piers Morgan was vocal on this. They were both condemning Liverpool fans for booing him. They couldn't understand why a group of fans would boo a player who has been with the club for 20 years, been with them, being a big part of the machine. And I understand where they're coming from, and I'm not condemning anybody's opinion on this, because as I said at the top of the video, everybody's entitled to their opinion on this. Just my kind of perspective on this is, if you're going to respect everybody's opinions, you've got to respect both sides. And it's like, how do you not see the other side of this? You can condemn it all you want, and you can disagree with the way that certain Liverpool fans behaved on the day. But if you don't see why Liverpool fans are booing Trent, not on Trent's side on this, not exactly giving him the most welcome of receptions as he graces the Anfield pitch for one of the final times in his Liverpool career. I don't understand why, what you're thinking about this. I don't understand what your entire mindset is. And by the way, Arsenal fans, you're not the only ones on this, but I will just say that again, just because we were playing Arsenal today, you're kind of, again, the wrong team at the wrong place at the wrong time. But Arsenal fans getting all high and mighty about, oh, well, we'd never do that, or I can't believe that they would do that. Certain members of your fan base did that to a certain Granit Xhaka a few years ago. And not only that, but they also took it way too far with abuse. They also took it way too far with threats. Not just to Xhaka, but his family. And on the day I believe you were playing Crystal Palace, he got subbed off. The boos rang clear. The cheers were ringing out that he was going off. And Xhaka snapped. And somewhat rightfully so. Somewhat rightfully so. You could understand the boiling point that Xhaka had got. And you're not the only one, by the way. I'm sure there are other teams and there are other fan bases that have done the same thing. I'm sure Chelsea have done it a fair few times. I'm sure Man United and Spurs have a fair few times to certain players. So maybe their overall teams. And I guess that the argument is that, well, maybe they weren't as successful as what Trent's been at Liverpool and dedicated his life to the club. But can't you at least understand why, after dedicating your life so much to the club, why the loyalty may not be as quite received as well as given in that aspect? Can you not understand why Liverpool fans might be upset by the actions of one Trent Alexander-Arnold? Again, it's all about opening your mind and seeing things from both sides. It's a very divisive and very intriguing topic of discussion to gauge the opinions on. Look, and I think Andy Robertson said it himself best. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to do and say whatever they like. Obviously, there will be repercussions if you obviously overstep the mark and overstep your boundaries. But at the end of the day, especially the paying customers, the fans in the stadium, they're entitled to have their opinion. And the fact of the matter is that no one at the club seems to be condemning it, but rival fans are. It's weird, and it tells me all I need to know about this. Like I say, I don't blame Liverpool fans today that wanted to boo Trent. I don't blame fans that wanted to support him. I will gladly sit on the fence on this one and let it play out. Do I think that maybe Arnie Slot got it wrong? Yes, because it was sort of somewhat predictable as to what kind of reaction Trent was going to get from the Liverpool crowd today. I was surprised he was named in the squad. I was surprised he was named on the bench. Didn't think he'd be playing again for us this season. And I think Slot may have got it wrong. Result, it's like, who cares? Who cares? But at the end of the day, I just think maybe Slot got it wrong in terms of maybe selecting him for the bench. Maybe he should have completely gone looking towards the future. Brought Endo on. Everyone would have been extremely happy. But that's not obviously the way that things panned out. But look, those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of this Trent Alexander-Arnold situation? Were Liverpool fans right to boo him? Were they wrong to do so? Do you agree with the likes of Rio Ferdinand and Piers Morgan, who were condemning Liverpool fans for booing him? Let me know what you guys think and feel about this situation down below in the comment section. I'm sure your thoughts and comments and opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, will make for great interesting reading down there. So please do get involved on this conversation. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. And thank you all for your brand new or continued support to the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are absolutely awesome. Will always be appreciated and never taken for granted. Thanks guys, I've been Fletch, this has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks everyone for watching, take care, enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you again very, very soon.